Apart from values and ethics which I have tried to live by, the legacy I would like to leave behind is a very simple one. That I have always stood up for what I consider to be the right thing, and I have tried to be as fair and equitable as I could be. I would say that one of the things I wish I could do differently would be to be more outgoing. I may have hurt some people along the way, but I would like to be seen as somebody who has done his best to do the right thing for any situation and not compromised. There are many things that, if I have to relive, maybe I will do it another way, but I would not like to look back and think what I have not been able to. I can tell you in all honesty that I am highly connected to my family, my wife, and my 3 children, though I don't get to spend dollops of hours with them. I have always been very confident and very upbeat about the future potential of India. I think it is a great country with great potential. I will certainly not join politics. I would like to be remembered as a clean businessman who has not partaken in any twists and turns beneath the surface, and one who has been reasonably successful. I have 2 or 3 cars that I like, but today, Ferrari would be the best car I have driven in terms of being an impressive car. Telco is totally committed to commercial vehicles, where it is bound to remain a major player. What may well happen in the future is we may split the company into 2 business units. I came seriously close to getting married 4 times, and each time I backed off in fear, or for one reason or another. Each occasion was different, but in hindsight, when I look at the people involved, it wasn't a bad thing what I did. I think it may have been more complex had the marriage taken place. If a founder has passion and innovation, he needs to be supported. I am more intuitive than a numbers person, and I recognize that not all investments are going to be positive. Some may fail, and some may have problems for other reasons. That is life. If it stands the test of public scrutiny, do it. If it doesn't stand the test of public scrutiny, then don't do it. After I retired, it seemed to me that there was a whole new world out there, which was a digital world driven by a marketplace, basically, which had a huge potential driven by handheld devices, which would one day become the virtual retail store of India. I am in favor of disinvestment. But if a disinvested company has to tie up with a government company for its livelihood, there is a problem. The early Rockefellers made their wealth from being in certain businesses and remained personally very wealthy. Tatas were different in the sense the future generations were not so wealthy. They were involved in the business, but most of the family wealth is put into trust, and the family did not, in fact, enjoy enormous wealth. A founder who is in for the short run, or has no passion for the sector he is in, doesn't give me a great deal of comfort. When you see in places like Africa and parts of Asia abject poverty, hungry children and malnutrition around you, and you look at yourself as being people who have well-being and comforts, I think it takes a very insensitive, tough person not to feel they need to do something. I followed someone who had very large shoes. He had very large shoes. Mr. J.R.D. Tata. He was a legend in the Indian business community. He had been at the helm of the Tata organization for 50 years. You were almost starting to think he was going to be there forever. What I would like to do is to leave behind a sustainable entity of a set of companies that operate in an exemplary manner in terms of ethics, values, and continue what our ancestors left behind. I have been constantly telling people to encourage people, to question the unquestioned, and not to be ashamed to bring up new ideas, new processes to get things done. People of great power wield great power, but people of lesser power or people who have fallen out of power go to jail without adequate evidence, or their bodies are found in the trunks of cars. The government should do its job. The government's job is, in fact, to run the country, to manage the country, to govern the country. And governance is an important thing, not application where it suits one so, to microcontrol where it suits them on the other hand. If there are challenges thrown across, then some interesting, innovative solutions are found. Without challenges, the tendency is to go on the same way. Some entrepreneurs talk of a high burn rate, high advertising rate, and so on, with no outcome, so it doesn't impress me. But an entrepreneur who has that kind of a feeling of responsibility towards his investors is somebody who will have all my support. If I were to look in the United States or in Europe, in some of the garages, you would have a Bentley or two Bentleys or a high-end Mercedes, and you may find a Smart also in that same garage because that person thinks it's a fun extra car to have. He may have 4 cars but also have a Smart because he thinks it is cute. If we dispense with some of our self-made boundaries, India can really take its place in the world as an economic power. It hasn't happened because we, sadly, don't look at ourselves as Indians, but as Punjabis or Parsis, unlike the Americans. Don't make such boundaries. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos.